Don't play with it, don't be dishonest. Still.
Y'all, I gotta be honest with you for a second. This is take number 7. Take number 1 was actually a really great take. I enjoyed it. It was actually amazing. It was a 52-minute and 17-second banger. It was actually really good, talking obviously about the NBA Finals, Game 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then the Blockbuster trade in the NBA that involved the Memphis Grizzlies, Desmond Bane, and Orlando Magic. Went through and was editing it. And guys, I had the wrong microphone connected. There's no audio. I recorded a 52-minute banger of an episode and there's no audio. And I am so mad because it was such a good episode. So here I am, take number 7 now, because the next 6 takes I did was trash and I didn't like it. So now here I am on take 7. So bear with me. If I go over something, or if I go over something quick, it's probably because I already talked about it in one of my previous 6 takes, and or it's in my first take that's in the 52 minutes that the audio is never going to be found because I did the wrong microphone. Also, make sure you guys have your microphones connected, because thankfully I have this amazing Rode mic. Shout out Sam for getting me this mic. But I have another mic. I have a toner. And that one somehow was connected. I didn't check my connections. So make sure you check your connections and have the right microphone set up, because it is important, because you might record a podcast episode and then realize it's the wrong microphone and then have to do it 7 more times. But that's what it's all about. Anyhow, guys, welcome back to the Hands Down Podcast with your host, Javid Nordell. I'm super excited for today's episode. Regardless of the trials that we've had today, I'm still going to make today a banger. We are going to be talking about the NBA Finals. Game 1, masterclass, cinema, literally a movie, chef's kiss, so good. We're going to talk about that. Game 2, Game 3, and then Game 4, another masterclass, cinema. It was so good. These NBA Finals, considering that we have 2 small market teams in the NBA Finals, this has been an entertaining Finals as an NBA fan, for views, not only for like entertainment, but like for skill, purpose, everything, regardless. Shea has been great. Chet's been great. It's been fun watching J-Dub. It's been fun watching Indiana, the comeback kids, Tyrese Halliburton, what the hell? Spicy P, Pascal Siakam. They're amazing defense. The Thunder have been known for their defense all year, all throughout this year. And the Pacers' defense against Shea has been so good. And this, like, considering this year's NBA Final, I think was better than last year's. And last year's we had a bigger market teams, right? Because we had Dallas in there, and then we had Boston in there, bigger market teams. But like, it was fun. It was cool to see, obviously, Tatum, Brown, Doncic, and Irving in the finals. But like, it wasn't that entertaining. Celtics won pretty handily. It wasn't much. And honestly, I'll be honest, coming into this series, I thought it was going to kind of be similar. Like, the Thunder are such a dominant team, have been so good all year. And like, the Pacers are a good team and have been good as of late, especially on this playoff run. But I'm like, the Thunder are just such a dominant team. I fully expected them to win in 6. I'm like, they might win in 5, but I expected 6. And then the Pacers just came out and said, hey, not so much. Milwaukee underestimated us. We sent Giannis's ass home. Giannis was the best player on that court. We sent his ass back home. He's in Cancun right now. He's trying to figure out if he's still playing with the Milwaukee Bucks next year. And then do you want to know what we did after that? We sent Donovan Mitchell and the 1-seeded Cleveland Cavaliers, who had 3 All-Stars, Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, and Evan Mobley, who Evan Mobley also won Defensive Player of the Year. We sent them home too. They were the 1 seed. They won the most games. They had 2 15-plus game winning streaks. We sent them home too. And we had a comeback win too, an improbable comeback just like we did against Giannis. Oh, and guess what? We did it to the Knicks too, in Madison Square Garden. The choke. Tyrese Halliburton, Reggie Miller, recreation. Yeah, they did it. To Giannis, to Donovan Mitchell, and to the king of the fourth quarter. And no, I'm not talking about Kenny Beecham. I'm talking about Jalen Brunson in Madison Square Garden. This Pacers team is here to play, because damn it, guess what they did in Game 1? Game 1 of the NBA Finals. The Oklahoma City Thunder controlled the game for 47 minutes and 55 seconds. Okay, they led. I can't say controlled the game, because the Pacers actually controlled the fourth quarter, but they controlled the majority of the game, and they should have won that game. They played winning basketball for 47 minutes and 55 seconds. They was winning that game for 47 minutes and 55 seconds. And then with 0.3 seconds left, 0.3 seconds left, you play damn near masterful basketball. And then for 0.3 seconds, Tyrese Halliburton calls game. And the Thunder are suddenly lost home court advantage. The Pacers gain home court advantage. The Pacers just did what they did to Giannis, what they did to Donovan Mitchell, what they did to Jalen Brunson, to the MVP, to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, to the best team in all of basketball in the Oklahoma City Thunder. And this Pacers team said, hey, we're here. We are here. Wake the fuck up. We are here. And I'm like, okay, Tyrese, what you got for me? Let's go. Because regardless, if the Thunder go on to win and Shai has an amazing season, the Thunder, arguably one of the greatest teams of all time, they're up there with the 73-9 Warriors. They're up there with the 72-10 Bulls. 67, 68 wins all throughout the year. They've won every game after they lost this postseason. This year they are 19-2 on the entire year. That's including yesterday's win. They're 19-2, and 10 of those games, 10 of those games they have won by 10 plus points. After a loss, the Thunder are 19-2 and have won 10 of those games by 10 plus points. They know how to respond after having lost. And it's been such an amazing series. So let's rewind. Talk about game 1, talk about game 2, game 3, game 4. And then, of course, we're going to get into the Blockbuster trade that happened this morning between the Orlando Magic and the Memphis Grizzlies. Desmond Bane has been traded to the Orlando Magic for 4 first-round picks. Keep in mind, fun fact, Luka Doncic, the guy who's All-NBA 5 times, led the Mavericks to the finals last year. That guy who faced the league pretty much if he wants to be. Yeah, he got traded for one first-round pick. Desmond Bane, 4. 5 technically. There's 1 swap involved. Yeah, 4 unprotected first and 1 swap. And Luka Doncic got traded for 1. Just let that sink in for a minute. But anyhow, game 1, NBA Finals. So good. Great game. Oklahoma City, like I said, controlled this game for the most part. They came out, they showed why they have been the best team in all of basketball, why they are the best team, and they've been so good. And then they played 3 amazing quarters of basketball. And I was like, okay, cool. But I was like, in the 4th, watch out, because that's when Helly likes to go crazy. And guess what Helly did? Helly went crazy. And I started thinking, I'm like, okay. And Richard Jefferson said it best. As the Pacers started kind of making their run, he's like, hey, you know what? And he said this on air. He said, the Knicks, the Cavaliers, and the Bucks are all telling the Thunder right now, we told you, this is a good team. It's not just a lucky team. This is a good team. They warned them. And Indiana came scorching in that 4th. They came to play. They got some stops on defense. Their pace was amazing. Their transition was flawless. They was moving. Shai couldn't get the ball down. Jada was looking frustrated out there. Chet had some turnovers. You're not getting ball movement. The blender's not going. You're getting more turnovers. Getting bad shots late in the shot clock. And what's Indiana getting? Indiana's getting the shot they want. Indiana's cutting the lead to 10. Indiana's cutting the lead to 8. Indiana's cutting the lead to 6. Indiana's cutting the lead to 2. Indiana's taking the goddamn motherfucking lead. Holy shit. It was just crazy. And going into the last possession, all I could think is no shot. I'm like, Tyrese did this to Cleveland, to Milwaukee, to New York. I'm like, no shot he does it to Oklahoma City. And then going into game 1, last possession, they don't call the timeout. And I'm like, oh, Thunder not calling timeout. I got both sides of it. You don't want the Thunder to set their defense. Thunder having the best defense of basketball all year. You probably don't want them to come out in a good set and set their defense. Okay, guess that makes sense. But Thunder still have a really good defense. You let them run in transition. You probably like that shot. But there were 7 seconds, and Tyrese was kind of just taking his time. He's coming up the court, but he's kind of just trying. He's not running. I'm like, Tyrese, you got 7 seconds. You got to go, my guy. And then he just goes, casually, jump shot, pull up, jumper, buckets. And I'm just like, damn. But that's the shot that Tyrese wants. Tyrese wants the ball in his hands when it matters the most. And, ooh, is that a gapper? It is a gapper, but it's only going to be a single. But it does score a run watching the Mariners and the Guardians game, by the way. And that is Luis Ortiz with a single. And the Mariners are winning 6-0. Anyhow, back to the Thunder and Pacers game. Tyrese wants the ball in his hands. He's been the cold-blooded killer. He's been that guy. And this series, I was just like, okay, Tyrese, I hear you. I see you. Okay, Tyrese. And I just was like, wow. What? After the shot, I was like, no, way. I'm like, he did it to OKC after doing it in each round. He's done it in the first round, second round, conference finals, and the finals. Halliburton is on a historic run. Historic, I tell you, historic. And like, it's just playmaking. He's not going out there and he's not averaging 30. He's not averaging 20, 25. He's going out there and he's beating you with his playmaking, his decision making. He's got Skiles out there, John Stockton, Chris Paul. Oh my goodness. That game two. Game two was a pick-me-up game, I think, for the Thunder. Shea had a really good game. I think Shea showed why he was the MVP. He came out and said, hey, I got us. Let me show you what I can do, why I was the MVP. You guys took home court advantage. We'll give you that. We didn't know you was chill like that. But this is the Oklahoma City Thunder. I'm Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. Oh, and by the way, I won the MVP award. So that's kind of what I got in game two. Thunder played a really good, complete game. That they played. I feel like game two was the game one that they wanted to play, that they let get away from them. But game two, they didn't let get away from them. Because there was in that late in the third quarter, beginning of the fourth quarter, I'm like, okay, this is where Pacers always make their run. Can the Pacers make their run right now? And they started to, but the Thunder responded really well. They switched, and the Pacers wasn't able to make the run. And the Thunder took advantage and was able to seal the game. I was like, okay. And then that gave me enough confidence actually for Thunder. I'm like, okay, you know what? That like the Thunder that they've got. I thought to myself, the Thunder probably had the Pacers figured out. Not fully, but I was like, Thunder are going to take control of the series. I'm like, I fully expect them to take game three, and we'll go from there. Nah, I was wrong. Indiana played such a great game three. Just everything Oklahoma City did, Indiana said, oh, well, let me one up you. I can do that too. Then the physicality. Indiana's physicality kind of reminds me of Detroit's physicality that we saw similar to New York in the first round. The physicality, okay, before I get into physicality, let me mention the officiating. I thought game one was fairly decent. Didn't have much problems with game one. Game two and three was fine. I felt like game two was fine. Game three, I had a little bit of a problem. I feel like we are inconsistent. It's either we're letting them play too physical and we're not calling fouls, but then, we're calling a petty foul on a barely graces the elbow, or we're calling a petty foul on hitting the hip. Okay, but yet we're not calling a hard fall over, hit the head, people going in, pushing each other. We're not calling those, but yet we're calling a hip check. And I was like, okay, like the flagrant foul that they, I personally thought there was wind up, there was intent, and there was follow through. And apparently there was only one of the three. I'm like, it was clear as day. He went like this, Neesmith and I was like, how is that not clear as day? And I'm like, okay, no flagrant foul. Thunder don't get the edge because like that would have gave them 2 free throws plus possession, right? Instead, all they get is just the free throws or whatever, right? That could be a 4-point swing and 5-point swing. And at that point, it was a 6-point game. So that could become really close. And then in game 4, there was 2 flagrant fouls that I didn't think were flagrant fouls. I was like, okay, so how are we calling this one a flagrant foul in game 4, but we didn't call this one, which was a lot more physical, in game 3? So I feel like the physicality level of the officiating, specifically Scott Foster and his crew, was really poor in game 4. Like we should not hear Scott Foster that many times. Not in an NBA Finals game. Ever. It's like that's the one thing I hate about officiating. Is I get it, officiating is important, but I hate when officiating controls the game because it ruins it so much. And I'm not going to say it threw this game out entirely because it wasn't that bad, but when officiating controls the game, it's so fucking annoying. Like, take from obviously being a big sports fan, love basketball, obviously, as you guys know, love baseball, and then love football. Take the New Orleans Saints not pass interference call. As a Saints fan, this one hurts me hard. I'm always going to talk about it. And I will say, yes, we had the opportunity to win the game later. We didn't. I will own that. I understand that. But the umpires, the refs, sold us that game so hard on not calling the PI there, because if he calls the PI there, guess what? Run the clock out, kick a field goal as time expires, we win the game. And I get it. I know. Why was we being pass aggressive? Why was we passing on first down? We should have ran the ball. We should have been running the clock out. I get it. But I'm just like, there's things like this that it's so frustrating as a viewer that we let officiating affect the game because it's that bad. In contrary to that, though, I guess what you can say on the counter is don't play so bad. Don't put your team in a position that way where there's gonna be one call like so that's gonna affect the outcome. Easier said than done. Anyhow, going back to this, the officiating's been kind of, game 4, I was like, okay, some of these flagrant fouls, I was like, what are we doing? What are we doing? This makes no sense. But outside of that, officiating's not been terrible. But those flagrant fouls in 2 and 3, I was like, come on, Scott Foster, you got to do better. Like, put Chris Paul out there. He's probably better than Scott Foster. Okay, not really. That's just going after Scott Foster. Okay, game 3. Like I said, though, was very, very impressed with Indiana because I thought Oklahoma City, especially after game 2 and have winning, because like I said, Oklahoma has played such good basketball after winning a game or after losing a game that they've kind of figured out the team know how to play successful basketball. But Indiana just came. Everything Oklahoma City did, I can do better. Oh, and guess what? Pascal Siakam is playing lights out. Like Pascal Siakam, if the Pacers go on to win the series, he is probably gonna win like the Finals MVP. I mean, Tyrese Halliburton's been playing good. He's being an amazing playmaker. But Pascal Siakam, I mean, did you see his stat line in Game 4? He had 4 steals going into halftime. He ended the game, I think 5 or 6 steals. I wish he would have got the ball more down in crunch time because he had a really legendary stat line. I think it was he was one of 2 players to put up a stat line of he had 10 plus points, 5 plus rebounds, 5 steals, similar to how TJ McConnell did that in game 3. Pascal Siakam did it in game 4. Then they went away from him in game 4. I was just like, that was your advantage. That's your secret sauce to win the game. And I think that's ultimately what affected Indiana coming into game 4. Obviously, there was the big stretch of Oklahoma in game 1, 2, and 3 had started Cason Wallace, right? They didn't go double big. They didn't put Chet and Ihart. They just went with Chet. And I personally thought with the Pacers lineup that you needed to go double big. When you got Pascal Siakam, who can play a stretch 4, he could technically play a 3, stretch 4, and then you have Miles Turner. I'm like, you need to have Ihart and Chet in there. And then so I was very pleased in game 4 when Oklahoma made that adjustment to start Ihart. And then coming into game 4, I think there is 3 reasons the Thunder won this game. The first reason is because of Alex Caruso. First and foremost, most important, Alex Caruso. Alex Caruso, an absolute dog. He is the veteran on the team. He is the one with the championship pedigree. He has the experience. He's been there before, obviously, with LA winning that in 2020. But he brings a different kind of demeanor to this team that he says, hey, guys, we've been this team all year. I need you guys to lock the fuck in and let's get back to our basics and let's go fucking win this game. Because when Alex Caruso comes in the game, that's exactly the energy he brings you. It's very similar to actually TJ McConnell. TJ McConnell and Alex Caruso bring the same type of intensity in equally. Because like TJ McConnell comes into a game, high energy, high defensive intensity, is going to grill you on that defensive perimeter. It's going to grill you inside. He's going to be all up on you personal, like he's going to make you uncomfortable. And then he's got kind of like a Sean Livingston mid-ranger where you're like, damn, 2016 through 19 Sean Livingston jumper. I want TJ McConnell, bro. But Alex Caruso does the same. But guess what? He's going to lock up your best defender. But he's also, the thing that Alex Caruso does a little bit better that TJ McConnell doesn't do is he's more efficient when it comes to scoring. I feel like as great as a scorer TJ McConnell is, I feel like he sometimes takes that mid-range jumper too many times. I oftentimes get a little frustrated when TJ McConnell takes a mid-range jumper because I'm like, TJ, that's not your shot. That's not the best shot. The Pacers need to be taking a different shot. Now, obviously, if it goes in, great on TJ, but that shot doesn't always go in. With Alex Caruso, he's more consistent, and then obviously he can shoot that 3 ball a little bit better. But also, guys, did you know Alex Caruso had a Euro step? Did y'all see him come in Euro? I was like, okay, Alex, I didn't know you was chill like that. I'm like, my goat Caruso going crazy. I was, dude, Caruso single-handedly brought them back into that game because he said, I got you guys. Usually it's Shea that says, I got you guys. Let me pick you up. No. Alex Caruso said, hey, I got you guys. I'm going to pick you up. And then Shai Gilgeous-Alexander acknowledged that, saw that he picked him up and said, you know what, bro? I'm going to return the favor. You got me. Let me return the favor. Let me get you. You brought us back into this game. Guess what? I'm going to close this. I'm the MVP. I got you. You got us here. Let me finish the job. Because I'll be honest, Shai had a bad game for 3 quarters. And I don't know if this was something that the Pacers just did so well because their defense on him in game 1 and 3 specifically. Game 2 was a little iffy because he had such a great game, but game 1 and 3 was so good. And I think that's a reason why, like, Shai's getting exhausted. Someone said it kind of was similar to a flu game. He didn't look like himself. Did he look sick out there? Maybe he's exhausted. And I think it's the physicality and the exhaustion that the Pacers defense is giving him. Ben Shepherd, Andrew Nembhard, Aaron Nesmith, everybody's picking him up at least at half court. Usually, Nesmith is picking him up half court. Shepherd's been picking up full court, sometimes half court usually. And then Nembhard's been picking him up full court, half court, but usually full court. And I think that the toll that has on Shai's body physically and then emotionally and mentally to go through that, to be able to not just battle through the ball, but to battle through the physicality mentally and emotionally through the game of knowing that someone's on your grill the entire game is that much more tense than a game that, okay, you can run down there and at least nobody's touching you when you get to the 3-point line, but then you know it's going to be a little physical. Now, Shai's getting attacked. He is getting touched without consent, with consent, however you want to put it. He is getting touched all the way up until he gets into the court. They don't want the ball in his hands, and if the ball is going to be in his hands, they are making him uncomfortable. And I felt like in this game specifically, though, I don't know if the Thunder, like if it was affecting them and Shai just like wasn't able to hit his shots and just like wasn't able to, or if the Thunder was like, okay, you know what, the Pacers are going to play Shai physical. They're going to be on him all game, no matter what. So Shai, don't go all in, Shai. Give us 60% for through 3 quarters, Shai. Don't go all in. Just play. Keep us afloat. Obviously, be there. Keep us afloat. And then in the fourth quarter, take over. In the fourth quarter, after they've been going at 1,000% all day, you've only been going at 60. You turn up that extra 40%, and you go crazy in the fourth. You take advantage of that. They switch. You own that switch. On defense, you own that switch. You own what you want to do. And I felt like that was honestly their plan because he, coming into that fourth quarter, looked like himself. He looked like the best version of himself. And he was able to get to his spots, sometimes with traveling, maybe, arguably, who knows. And then he was able to hit his shot. And he was able to be a leader and be the MVP because that's who he is. Another crazy, also weird, crazy fun fact about this game. The Oklahoma City Thunder just won a game in which they scored 111 points. And 102 of those points were just scored in the paint, jumpers, free throws. Only 9 points were made through 3 balls. The Thunder had 3 3-pointers, equivalent to 9 points. 9 points through 3 balls, and 102 out of everything else. In a game in 2025, when it's all about pace, when it's all about space, when it's all about the blender, when it's all about movement, when it's all about switching, when it's all about defense, when it's all about the 3-ball shot, the Oklahoma City Thunder just won an NBA Finals game while only making 3 3-pointers. That's just crazy. This Finals, like I said, has been cinema. It's been so great. I don't care that it's 2 small market teams. This has been the best NBA Finals I have watched in a minute. I will say it's better than last year's between Boston and Dallas. It was better than Milwaukee and Phoenix. I will go and say it's better than any of the Golden State runs outside of the obviously LeBron James coming back from 3-1 because that was fun to watch. But as an average viewer who's just watching the game for fun, not caring who wins because I'm happy if it's Shai completing an amazing season and capping everything off, or if it's Tyrese Halliburton doing the unthinkable and capping off the improbable. As an NBA fan, regardless, I'm happy. And this NBA Finals has treated me so pleasantly. So I cannot wait for Game 5. I cannot wait for Game 6. Is that a homer? No, it's short. It's only to the warning track. I gotta shout out Alex Caruso, though. Alex Caruso, I think, single-handedly saved the Thunder's season because between him and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, they just stole game 4 from the Indiana Pacers. The Indiana Pacers, I think, played a very similar game to game 1 that the Oklahoma City Thunder played. Oklahoma City played such a great game 1 that in theory they should have won game 1. They should have had that home field advantage, and then the Pacers stunned them, right? And the Pacers took home field advantage. I felt like the Pacers just got pacered by the Thunder because the Pacers were controlling the entire game for 3 quarters. They was handling the MVP. Chet didn't look, I mean, he wasn't hitting all his shots. I mean, he rolled, there was a play that he rolled literally both his ankles in the same possession. I was like, Chet, what are you doing, you clumsy son of a bitch? And then, like, I was like, okay. And the Pacers just were going on runs. They had that big 7-0 run going into the third quarter, took like an 8-12 lead, something like that. And I was like, man, is this team, the Thunder team, best team in all basketball, has an MVP, took down Denver, took down Memphis, took down all these other teams, haven't lost since in this postseason after losing a game. I'm like, are they really about to go back to Oklahoma City 3-1? I'm like, if they go back to Oklahoma City 3-1, I'm like, they lose this series probably in 6, maybe 7, but probably in 6. I'm like, they don't win this series. But then Shea said, Caruso got us here. I'm gonna finish it. I'm gonna steal a game. I'm gonna put us back in this game. I'm gonna take over. I'm gonna be me. And he was. And I was just like, the Pacers got pacered because everything they did to the Thunder in game 1, the Thunder did to them in game 4. They just shocked them. And then I was very, very, very upset with the Pacers' shot selection going into the final 2 minutes. The Pacers always look for a good shot, get an open look, or you usually can have Tyrese do one of his crazy shots or attack the rim, and usually you're okay with that. There was too much ISO, or Tyrese was playing hero ball, and I did not like the shot creation that Tyrese was doing. You can move around, put it in transition. And then, I mean, the Shea had a really big block. They didn't switch. Shea stayed on Tyrese and then blocked the 3. Huge play. And then I think that play specifically rattled Indiana, because then after, I mean, like, Shea had his layup, or not Shea, sorry, Tyrese had his layup after. But then, like, after that, Indiana was like, their heads were twirling. They didn't know what was going on. It kind of almost reminded me, obviously similar to the Thunder games, like to Duke in the, that game, how they just fumbled so bad. Like, everything that could have went wrong. And I was like, wow, like, if the Thunder need to make a run and Thunder need to do something, it needs to happen now. And then it did. They went on their 7-0 run. And then it got within 2. And I was like, this game just went from 3-1, where Pacers having a 10-point lead, this could almost be 3-1, to Thunder saying, not so fast. We're here. Sit the fuck down. I'm so excited for these next 2 games. Like I said, if that's what we got for game 1 and game 4, which was, like I said, 2 of the best basketball games I've watched in a minute. And game 2 and 3 was good. Don't get me wrong. It's just, it wasn't as entertaining and as spicy, per se, as game 1 and 4. But these NBA Finals, I'm so here for it. The small market is here, and I'm just happy that we're gonna crown a new championship team this year. Whether it's the Thunder winning their first championship, and like I said, Shea capping off an amazing year, or whether it's the Pacers doing the improbable, it's amazing. Okay, off season though, guys. Off season's here. Kevin Durant is getting traded. There's no ifs, whats, or buts about it. He's getting out of Phoenix. Where's he going? There's some rumors, obviously, of Minnesota. Minnesota might make the most sense. Being able to play, obviously, with Anthony Edwards. He had that experience, obviously, in the Olympics last year. But being able to play with him, probably Julius Randle, a trade. If it was the Timberwolves, would probably consist of Rudy Gobert to make financial restrictions comprehensible there. And then, maybe a couple salary fillers. And then 2 first-round picks, maybe. Is that going to be enough to get KD over here? I don't know. KD just came out and said, though, he has 3 teams that he's interested in going to. That's his preferred destination. That's the San Antonio Spurs, who, by the way, the San Antonio Spurs have the number 2 overall pick in this year's draft. So do you call up and be like, hey, we got the 2nd overall pick. You got KD. We'll give you Keldon Johnson. We'll give you Jeremy Sochan. We'll give you 2 first-round picks, and we'll give you Harrison Barnes. You send us Kevin Durant. Who says no? The Suns can start a rebuild, 2nd overall pick. You bring in Dylan Harper. You bring in some rotational players. You figure out what you're going to do, obviously, with Bradley Beal. And then you let Devin Booker go. And not go, obviously, like in free agency or trading. Like, no, you let Devin Booker go crazy, as in, Devin, that's your team. No more Kevin Durant. No, like it's Devin's team. You get no more co-star with Devin. Like that's Devin's team. I don't know if that's what they're going to do, but that could be a trade possibility. And then obviously there's Houston. The Rockets are interested. The Rockets just re-signed Aquaman, obviously. So having him there is great. Steven Adams is a great role player, and I think he's just a great veteran to have in a locker room. And then, I mean, he's obviously already played with KD in Oklahoma City. So we'll see there. But similarly, Phoenix has already came out and said that they're going to do the trade that makes the most sense for them, even if that means trading him to a place that's out of his destination. So we'll see on that. We'll see what happens with Giannis. Is Giannis going to request to go out of Milwaukee? We don't know what's going to happen with Dame, obviously, coming into this next year, how healthy he's going to be. It's going to be quite an interesting NBA offseason. The Celtics are going to be an interesting team too, because, I mean, Tatum's not going to play a lot of next year because of his injury. Do they fully run it with Jaylen Brown and say, Jaylen Brown, see what you can do? Be the player we know you can be? Do they trade Jaylen Brown and get capital out of him while they can, while he's kind of on a high note maybe, because Jaylen Brown isn't the guy you expect him to be? I don't really know. I feel like Jaylen Brown has a really good game, and then Jaylen Brown just is non-existent. Like I don't know. What's going to happen with Kristaps Porzingis? It's so crazy. There's so much that can happen. And then, of course, we have the Blockbuster trade that did already happen. The Memphis Grizzlies are trading Desmond Bane to the Orlando Magic for Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Cole Anthony, and uno, dos, tres, cuatro, technically cinco, because one is a swap, but 4 unprotected first-round picks and 1 first-round pick swap. Keep in mind, I don't know, I think I mentioned this earlier, but I'm going to mention it again. A guy by the name Luka Doncic was traded for 1 first-round pick. Granted, Anthony Davis was in that trade. Let's not act like Anthony Davis was not in that trade. Anthony Davis was in that trade, I understand, but Luka Doncic was traded for 1 first-round pick. Mikal Bridges was traded for 5. Desmond Bane was traded for 5. Rudy Gobert was traded for 5, equivalent to Donovan Mitchell was traded for 5. Like, it's just so crazy that we live in a day and an age where we see franchise star, mega star, Luka Doncic get traded for 1. And I get it, Anthony Davis was involved in that trade, but still, face of the league, next up and rising player, Luka Doncic, 1 first-round pick. And then we have a perennial, up-and-coming, rising all-star getting traded for 4 first-round picks. It's absolutely crazy. I think if I'm the Grizzlies, I okay, this trade makes sense to me. I know why you did this for Memphis, but I don't know why. I do and I don't. If you're Memphis, I don't know what Memphis is doing. I think Memphis is throwing the towel in, and they're conceding that the West is too competitive, that Ja Morant and Jaren Jackson aren't going to be enough to get them there, that they're going to see what they can do with the next coach they bring in, whether that be Mike Brown, who I think it personally should be, or someone else, and hope that maybe they can bring a rotational player in or some draft capital with those 4 first-round picks maybe in the future and build for the now and the future and see what you can do, because you have so many powerhouses like Oklahoma City, like LA potentially in the future, that you're going to just be okay with just trying to be that surprise team here and there. Because, like, I don't get this trade for Memphis. I really don't. Because I understand Memphis fired Taylor Jenkins because he couldn't win against a winning coach, right? He couldn't win against a winning team. They was the 3 seed, 4 seed, but they couldn't win those teams against the teams above them. And you got to be able to win those teams, or else you're not going to go far. And I get that, but they still were the 3 and the 4 seed. And then after you made that change of Taylor Jenkins, and then getting a new guy, you lose your next 4 games, and then you kind of pick it up, but then you get embarrassed. I'm going to say it. You got embarrassed in the playoffs. Ja Morant said he figured out the Thunder. I don't really think he did. I mean, Ja Morant just is Ja Morant. Let's be honest here. And I'm like, okay. So from the Grizzlies' point of view, are you just conceding with the West is too competitive and you're just going to see what Jaren Jackson and Ja can do? Because if I'm the Grizzlies, with what I would have done, with how successful they had been, and seeing that, okay, you have Desmond Bane and Ja Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr., and granted, yes, they're all good, but we haven't really been able to see what they can do all together because they've not all been healthy all at the same time to fully be able to see their true capabilities, because either Desmond's been out, Ja's been out, or Ja's been suspended, or just doing something crazy shit, or Jaren's been out, so you've not really been able to see. What I would have liked to see is them make a move to maybe get a big or maybe get a guard, or not a guard, sorry, a wing, and then go, okay, let's see what, if we add one more rotational wing or one rotational big to maybe help out a Zach Edey a little bit more, because I like Zach Edey, but he was young and a rookie, and you want a little bit more out of that production. So I would have liked them to see what they could have done to help that, because I don't think they get better with sending Desmond Bane away. So I don't like this trade for the Grizzlies, because you don't get better and the West is already stacked. Is that gone? No, it's only to the track. For the Magic, I like this trade a lot better for the Magic, but I think the Magic overpaid. Potential starting lineup for the Magic coming into this next year, we are looking at, depending on if he's healthy, you should have Jalen Suggs, and then Desmond Bane, and then you're going to have Franz, and then you're going to have Paolo, and then you're going to have Wendell Carter Jr. I really like this trade for the Magic, for the sense that the East is, this is the best time to be opening in the East. We don't know what's going to happen with the Cleveland Cavaliers right now. This is the second year in a row that Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland and Evan Mobley hasn't worked out. Are they going to get rid of Darius Garland this time around? Are they going to get rid of Jared Allen? Or are they going to run it back for a third year in a row? Who knows? We don't know what's going to happen with Giannis and the Bucks right now. Is Giannis going to continue to stay loyal and stay in Milwaukee? Or is he maybe going to potentially go to Miami, go to New York? We don't really know. Obviously with New York played one of their best seasons of basketball. Jalen Brunson, really good basketball year, especially in the fourth quarter, especially his clutch performances. Josh Hart, I think, had a breakout equivalent year, to where like Josh Hart's been really good, but like Josh Hart showed that like, hey, it's a mindset thing. Anybody can be this player if they want to be. That's why I'm this type of player. But now, after them firing Tom Thibodeau, we don't really know what their direction is. They're similar to kind of like all these door-to-door salesmen out there right now, whether it's Pest, whether it's High Ticket, or whether it's Solar. Because what they're doing is they're actually going door-to-door to all these, like the Timberwolves, the Cavaliers, the Suns, Rockets, and they're like, hey, do you not like your coach? Can we have your coach? We just fired our coach. Probably this is how they go. They knock on the door. Like, hi, we're the New York Knicks. We just fired our coach, Tom Thibodeau, but we made it to the conference finals, and we want to make it to the NBA finals. We noticed you didn't make it to the NBA finals last year. Do you not like your coach? Can we take your coach? Is that okay? That's probably what their pitch sounds like. So I don't really know what's going on with the New York Knicks, with their head coaching vacancy and positioning that's going on right now. So you're like, okay, what's going on with New York? What's obviously going on with Boston? Tatum not being able to play next year. What's going on with Brown? Are they going to trade KP? Are they going to trade Drew Holiday? Like, we really don't know what's going on with that team. And then obviously you have Indiana, who's doing so good this year. You're like, okay, well, Indiana, we've seen what they did. They made that one trade for Pascal Siakam, got him to the conference finals, got him to the finals. I mean, the Knicks made a trade for Karl-Anthony Towns, and he gets him to the conference finals. So you're like, okay, well, maybe we're one trade away, and that's what's going to get us to the conference finals next year, because the Bucks are declining, because the Cavs are declining, because the Knicks are declining, because the Celtics are declining. The only teams that should be rising in theory is the Pacers, the Pistons, and Magic. Between the Pacers, being in the finals this year, and then the Pistons overperforming, making it to the playoffs, like, they only should be getting better from this year. And that third team can be us, the Magic. So let it be us, instead of watching what Boston might do with their guys, or watching what Milwaukee might do with Giannis, or what splash the Heat might make. So I like this trade for Orlando. I just don't think Desmond Bane was worth 4 unprotected first-round picks and a pick swap. I think Desmond Bane would have been worth KCP, Cole Anthony, 2 first-round picks and 1 swap. So I would have gave 3 first-round picks. But that's after that, I'm not doing any more. So I do think Orlando gave up a little bit too much of their future for Desmond Bane specifically, and this is a Desmond Bane, a guard we're talking about specifically. Like, if you're going to give up 4 first-round picks, I would have rather maybe a true point guard or a true big, not kind of just that wing player. But I do like that Orlando is making a move to be competitive and to rise when they are seeing the Knicks, the Celtics, the Cavaliers, these other teams decline. I'm excited to see what other trades might happen. I mean, the draft is coming up. Most certainly, the Mavericks are going to take Cooper Flagg, but their GM is Nico Harrison. So he could potentially trade that away, and then he would be responsible for trading away 2 of the most prolific players in their franchise history. Imagine if Nico Harrison traded Luka and then gets the picks to the rights to draft Cooper Flag and then trades that away. I mean, he wouldn't, but this is a guy that traded Luka Doncic, so who knows? I'm excited for this NBA offseason, though. Excited to see what happens with Kevin Durant. Excited to see what happens with these other free agents, these other trades. With Philly, how they're going to build up their team. They have the 3rd overall pick. Are they going to draft Ace Bailey, or are they going to make a trade to try to be competitive because they're going to have Joel Embiid, Jared McCain, and Paul George all coming back from injuries? So in theory, they should be a better team next year. Like, it's so entertaining. I'm all here for it. The draft is in, a week and a half, 2 weeks. NBA Finals is here. Game 5 and 6 is going to be lit. These trades, Blockbuster to start the day. I see you, Orlando. I think you overpaid, but I like it. That's all I got for this week's episode, guys. I know, like I said, it's not as long as that first banger I had. That was a little bit longer, 52 minutes. But let me tell you something. When you record a 52-minute banger and then go and do 5 edits that you don't like because the quality is bad, and then count it up with another 45-minute banger, that's a lot of yapping, which I have been doing. But crazy episode, crazy series for the NBA Finals. Who do you guys think is going to pull it off? Is Indiana going to pull off the improbable and the greatest comeback of all time, where you come back as the comeback kids against New York, against Milwaukee, against Cleveland, and against Oklahoma City? Or are the Thunder going to cap off just such a great historic season? You guys tell me. Let me know you guys' thoughts and opinions. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to this week's episode. I appreciate you guys. Next week, obviously, we'll discuss the future of these games. We might be discussing the draft, what's going to go on with Cooper Flag, Dylan Harper, Ace Bailey. Obviously, we'll get into more baseball. Guys, football offseason's here too. Aaron Rodgers is a Steeler. So football, it's training camps have been fun. Mini camps have been going on. So a lot going on in the sports world, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, though. That's all I got for ya. Have a good one, y'all.